he knew at the time that it was a real shooting. He was doing it. He was lying.
Yeah.
Does that make him the crisis actor?
Internet Unwind.
My buddy, Internet Unwind.
Internet Unwind's video.
Internet Unwind did a great video about this.
Internet Unwind, dude. Good to see you here, brother.
Internet Unwind, fuck off. You're an asshole, Internet Unwind. I never fucking liked you. I always lie.
Speaking of lawyers, that's the first thing we're going to talk about tonight is Alex Jones getting owned by his own lawyers.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much you followed this one, Mitch.
A little bit. I saw the clip of him just shitting himself that he got it. Everything his phone did got leaked.
Yeah, that's like kind of like, apparently that's like just part of the story. I've got this from Filter Franco where he's going to summarize it, and then we also have this clip, the 7 wildest moments from the Alex Jones defamation trial.
Alex
so this
Jones.
is a couple minutes.
Also, in case you are immune to sarcasm, he is not a friend of the show. I think he is a dangerous, disgusting scumbag. One who many just think is a harmless meme, right? He's talking about chemicals making the frogs gay. But also he's someone that does disgusting, dangerous things all the time. And in fact, one of those things is why we're talking about him today. Right? He's currently embroiled in the first of 3 defamation cases brought against him by multiple victims' families. This is because Jones has been one...
I feel weird laughing at that specific part. I've been trying not to laugh, and I feel weird laughing at that specific part of like the victims' families. It's just bad timing for the laugh to finally slip out.
Oh, that's the most funny part, though.
It's like if you were listening to it's like if you're listening to like a documentary about like World War II and they mention like how devoted the Nazis were to Hitler and you laugh at that part. It's like I was trying not to laugh. And it was that part like at a funeral you laugh when they're like you laugh at the wrong part of a funeral or whatever. Why is the chat duplicated? What the
Wait, what is the right part to laugh at a funeral?
Look, when they're being lowered into the ground.
I'm not quite sure where I was going with that analogy. Thanks for pointing out my failures. Jay, Mitch is too smart for this stream. Get him out of here. Kick him out.
Like when you masturbate at the wrong time in a wedding. When's the right time? When's the right time?
No, it's when you pick the wrong stall to do it in.
I mean, what do you think the icing on the cake is? It's not whipped cream, it's jizz.
Oh my god, Jay.
First cum joke of the night.
Jay, you're like me if that little tiny remaining part of filter in me was gone.
I did get a message from Tommy. He wanted to send a message about Alex Jones, by the way. So this is what Tommy had to say earlier about Alex Jones.
Fuck yourself! You're a fucking liar! You're a piece of shit! You're a clout chasing just another YouTuber! You're no different than anybody else! You don't give a rat's ass, and you can suck my dick!
Sorry, that's actually about Mama Max, ironically. That was something else that happened, but we're not going to talk about that tonight.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was when his wife walked in on him playing Fortnite and she said, "Get off that game, it's time to have sex." And he's like, "No!
No, that's when he said...
I don't want to!"
No, that's when he said this.
I'd eat your cock up with my ass.
And then if he ever gets any of these clips, this is what he's going to say.
You're an asshole, Internet Unwind. I never fucking liked you.
Anyway...
One of the loudest and ugliest proponents of conspiracies surrounding the Sandy Hook shooting, having said that it was staged with fake kids and parents played by actors, which, to be clear, is complete and total batshit crazy bullshit, just in case that needs to be said.
By the way, can we acknowledge... Okay, so the one thing I know about this, basically, is that Alex Jones claimed that the Sandy Hook was crisis actors.
Yeah.
We now know, and one of the things they say in this, is that he even in his text messages acknowledges he knew at the time that it was a real shooting. He was doing it. He was lying.
Yeah.
Does that make him the crisis actor? That makes Alex Jones himself the crisis actor.
Yeah, Alex Jones is the crisis actor.
Alex Jones is the real crisis actor of Sandy Hook.
20 children and 6 teachers died that day, almost 10 years ago, and their families have been grieving ever since.
And I feel bad again for making the joke and then hearing that right after. Just
the whole thing has arguably been so
Just to
much
remind you,
worse,
Jake,
so much
there are
worse.
little children that will forever be little children.
not quite, but I get the sentiment.
Quite, they're dead. They're not getting older.
Yeah, but they're not actually children currently. They were. I mean,
No.
it's been 10 years, bro. It's been 10 years. Do you think that they're still children right now?
I know. They'd be getting married now and having kids of their own to send off to a shooting.
They'd be getting divorced in 10 years from now, too. We'd have so much to relate to.
Oh, did him a favor.
Brought to you by InfoWars.
Their families have been grieving ever since. And the whole thing has arguably been so much worse, so much more difficult because of Jones's lies. As a psychotherapist for one of the victims' families even testified on Monday, saying that their treatment was set back by years, and that the father, Neil Heslin, he's had repeated nightmares.
Alex Jones.
What
Jesus
happened?
Christ. Imagine being a psychotherapist for Alex Jones. Jesus Christ.
That wasn't what the psychotherapist was for. They were analyzing the victim's
No, I know
families.
what I'm saying in a hypothetical. Come on, Jake, follow on.
You created a hypothetical without leading into the hypothetical. They're talking about the actual psychotherapist for the victims' families. Imagine being the psychotherapist for this guy.
Every time I get in the bath, the frogs are there. They're waiting for
Like a Deaf Noodle setup. What are you doing?
On Monday, saying that their treatment was set back by years, and that the father, Neil Heslin, he's had repeated nightmares about Jones
Did Alex Jones hack my camera? Thank you.
and his following, who he claims send him by eyes. As a psychotherapist for one of the victims' families even testified on Monday, saying that their treatment was set back by years, and that the father, Neil Heslin, he's had repeated nightmares about Jones and his follower, whom he claims send him death threats and harass him in public. And so the Heslin and the mother, Scarlett Lewis, parents of the deceased 6-year-old Jesse Lewis, are seeking $150 million in damages from Jones and his company. With a trial.
I feel like for just the two of them, 150 million seems like a lot, but I don't really know the extent. I have a hard time believing that's. Okay. To be fair, though, here's the thing: a lot of these things, the lawyers are the ones pushing for a higher amount because it gives them more ways to negotiate down. So I really doubt. I hate it when people like blame the family for like, oh, they're just going after money. They're not. It's not actually about the kid or whatever. Nah. 150 million sounds like a lot, but I almost guarantee it's the lawyers trying to like aim as high as possible.
Trials that determine how much you'll have to pay. Now, as far as the defense here, Jones's team has argued that he's since acknowledged that the shooting happened and already paid a price when he was deplatformed in 2018, losing millions of followers. You also had.
So, is that the equivalent of paying an exposure?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because you lost a bunch of exposure and subs and subscribers, so you just paid in.
Free speech
I paid in harassment with subscriber count.
Systems, the parent company for Jones's InfoWars show, filing for bankruptcy last week, and that coming after InfoWars itself and 2 other affiliated business entities did the same last April, delaying the defamation suits. Though many don't think that he is actually bankrupt, and there's this whole thing about him being gifted millions in crypto. It's a whole mess. But the main thing is that the trial is underway, and if you thought this would be anything short,
bankrupt. I mean, it can, but
I don't know. I mean, the way his show is and the way he travels and stuff, how could you be bankrupt if, unless it's one of those things where he put all of his money into his company and now his company isn't bankrupt, but he is. So technically, he's still making plenty of money. He's still got plenty. But, I don't have any money. It's all in his company, but I don't have any money. It's probably something stupid like that.
Than an absurdist clown show. I don't know what you've been smoking. Tuesday's trial went off the rails, but the lunacy actually started outside the courtroom, with Jones talking about the case just hours before, saying this about Heslin, right, Jesse's father.
He is being manipulated by some very bad people. I mean, I'll just say it because I got to be honest. He's slow, okay? I mean, I think Heslin acts like somebody on the spectrum.
So, of course, the press...
So on the spectrum.
Yes, so he framed the father. He framed the father of this victim that this court case is about. I believe this is just a him versus them case. I don't believe this is a multiple victim case.
Yeah,
because every time, like when I watched this video earlier, they kind of made it seem like it's all about this guy and his family. I could be misunderstanding that. I'm not sure, but point being, he did a show hours before this court hearing. Where one of the segments was entirely based around making the father of the victim deficient, as incompetent as possible.
Insane, dude.
No, not insane. Not insane. He tried to make him sound what's the word for your people, Jay?
I want to say it, but I don't want to get you banned.
I personally won't say it. Okay, he's implying he's trying to get around saying he's R-worded. I won't. Yeah. I won't. That's one of the few words.
That means like 3 different things, I think.
Well, we know he wasn't risking getting raped. I don't think there's any context in which we're concerned that Alex Jones was implying that this man was raped.
I mean, it's Alex Jones. You never know.
I think contextually,
Your Honor, this man does not deserve $150 million. He was raped.
I think we can contextually assume what it meant by that if they couldn't understand what Alex was implying themselves.
Prosecution plays that for the jury on Tuesday, and Heslin testified that he's been living in fear.
I can't even describe the last 9.5 years of the living hell that I and others have had to endure because of the negligence and the recklessness of Alex Jones.
Also breaking down in tears about his lost son, saying that he was real and did live for 6.5 years.
But I cherish those days, those years.
You also had Scarlett Lewis joining in to express her utter bewilderment at Jones.
Jesse was real. I am a real mom. And there's nothing that you could have found. Because it doesn't exist. That I'm deep state. I know you know that.
Fuck, he's just sitting there.
He's just sitting there, and now he's like shaking his head like...
Oh God, she was real.
Oh God.
He was a real boy.
Why? For money? I know you believe me.
God.
You've also got a lot of people talking about this moment after the judge leaves the room when Lewis hands Jones some
right
water because he...
Oh, wait. What were we saying?
That bald spot right in the shot.
Yeah, right?
A lot of people talking about
that had
this
to be
moment after the
strategic.
judge leaves the room when Lewis hands Jones some water because he had been coughing throughout the day, with Jones then offering to shake her hand and she accepts, with Heslin's lawyer then starting to argue with him about how he called the father slow and autistic, leading to this heated moment.
You're not getting this. That's not even a thought. That's not the way this goes.
His little lawyer face.
Wait. I got. What was that? I missed that.
Why? Because you can't feed them fake videos?
Why? Because you can't feed them fake videos anymore?
Jesus Christ.
Now he's trying to manipulate the victims.
Then, at some points, the trial just becomes downright bizarre. Or like one where the judge tells Jones to spit out his gum, to which he replies it's not gum, that he had a tooth pulled and is massaging the spot, and then this happened.
You were chewing on your gauze.
Would you like me to show you?
No, I just want you to answer my
I swear Alex Jones is like trying to make himself seem incompetent here. Like, what else could he be doing? Like, the dude just seems unhinged.
You gotta play that clip of him from Joe Rogan. Where he's kind of R-worded.
I wish I had that clip queued up right now. Let me see if I actually have it saved on my computer real quick. I know I'm already on YouTube and I could just search for it, but I really don't want to search. Hey, there we go. I do have it queued up.
Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Most iconic quote ever.
I don't
Yeah, right.
want to see the inside of your mouth.
Oh, no, there's no doubt.
So the judge chastises him several more times, telling him that he's violated his oath.
I don't want to
lying
see
over-
the inside of your
Judge, Judgy Wudgy, it's right here. It's like a Three Stooges bit. It's like he watched the Disorder in the Court right before going
That's
into
a
this.
cool feeling you have.
Huh?
That's a cool feeling you have.
I've got a bunch of them, yeah.
over and over again during the trial and saying,
Were you instructed that there were some things you could not testify about?
Yes.
And do you remember what they were?
Yes.
And what were they?
The document you put out saying don't talk about free speech, don't say I'm innocent, and a bunch of other stuff, and then that got withdrawn. I believe you withdrew it. I think it's called motion in limine.
Okay, so you don't remember?
No. I
Remember day one where I said it's an unfair world and you don't get to interrupt the judge? Do you remember that?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. But the judge gets to interrupt you?
Okay.
Remember that? Yeah. Okay, so you don't really remember what you were supposed to.
So he's fully spinning right now. He's spinning his wheels trying to spin out of this.
That's what I'm hearing, because you said, yes, I remember, no, I don't remember.
Well, I'm trying to remember.
Okay, I don't want you to try and remember. I don't want you to try and remember. You either knew or you don't.
Watching part of has
Do or do not.
When I was coming
There is still try.
talking about the bankruptcy.
Looks like
So I thought that was
Palpatine.
Totally fine. I mean, he gets to. Why do I not get to do what he gets to do?
Mr. Jones?
Why don't I get to do what he gets to do? He's acting like a little child on top of being brain dead.
Stop making, just stop.
Also, regarding lying under oath, yesterday Jones testified that he never discussed Sandy Hook over text. But today we saw this absolutely jaw-dropping moment where one of the lawyers for the parents said they had proof this was a lie, and really, I'm just gonna let the lawyer explain it.
Oh, this was the best.
Yeah. Am I crazy, by the way, or does he look like Ethan Ralph here?
Don't do Alex Jones dirty like that.
Like, Ethan Ralph has like this... Ethan Ralph a lot of time has this like super fat look on his face where he looks like he's just kind of like staring into oblivion. He looks like he's drunk and just staring into oblivion. And Alex looks like he's putting on an act here trying to seem like innocent and clueless. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a goofball.
Well, as far as I know, Alex Jones has never shit himself while he's on InfoWars.
No, but he might have when his tranny porn or trans porn or whatever the search was that was in his search history showed up on screen.
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Jake gets the pass.
What do you mean? No, I was quoting the link. The link wasn't the search result actually tranny porn? I know that's considered inappropriate. I'm quoting what.
Yeah, no.
I believe it wasn't trans porn. It said tranny porn on his screen. That's why I'm saying that, not because I'm giving me a pass for quoting the guy. I didn't say the N-word. Relax.
You didn't get this text message to me. You don't know where this came from. Do you know where I got this?
No.
Mr. Jones. Did you know?
Look at that look on his face, like an innocent puppy waiting for dinner. That's such an act.
That 12 days ago. 12 days ago.
You look like you just...
Your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital...
Like he's off a mender.
Something
He
like
always
that.
looks like that.
By the way, it's good to see that Froggy from Daredevil's still getting work. The only thing is, what are you laughing at? You didn't watch Daredevil. You don't know what the reference is.
Yes, I did.
When? When did you watch Daredevil?
On my own time.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Objection.
I believe that this isn't a crisis, so what would this be?
Cry for help.
What? I think you're a mild disagreement actor. You're lying.
Community of your entire cell phone with every text
This guy's
message
hilariously
you've sent
overdramatic, by the
for
way.
The past 2 years, and when informed.
I mean, it's possible he's just that passionate. I don't know. I love how when he's like, "Your lawyer sent me all of your phone." your lawyer sent me a digital copy of your entire phone, and they didn't do this to stop it. They didn't do that to stop. He's saying all this, and the lawyer's just sitting there like, that might have happened. He didn't. It doesn't really react at all. He's just like, What did he say?
Identify it as privileged or protected in any way.
What did he say?
And 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession, and that
Come
is
on,
how I
finish
know
that
you
sentence.
lied to me when you said you didn't have text messages about Sandy Hook. Did you know that?
My lawyer sent it to you, but I'm hiding it. Okay.
And there he goes with the being a kid again thing. My lawyer sent it to you, but you're okay. He's trying to act incompetent. He's acting incompetent. There's like, this isn't Twitter. You're not debating Aiden projects. You're in court. Look, you can see you can see on the screen the text messages are being shown to him. Look at the look on his face. Look at the look on his face. The look on his face. He looks like he's constipated.
Mr. Jones?
Mr. Jones,
Please just answer questions. There's no question. Mr. Bengtson also only asks questions.
Oh, this is where he looked like Ethan Ralph. There we go. That's it right there. That's where, like, that looks just like Ethan Ralph to me.
Sure. And as if that wasn't bad enough, the prosecution also played
He should work with Ethan Ralph. They work in the same sphere anyway. It could be like
the ultimate collab.
Gunt Wars.
Alex Jones doesn't have a gun. I've seen his tummy.
No, I
looks
said
nothing
Gunt
like Ethan
Wars.
Ralph's.
It's just Ethan Ralph. I wouldn't call it Kill Wars. I wouldn't give Ethan that much respect. He's better known for getting killed and having a gunt than he is for, you know, killing anything besides his own brain cells.
An InfoWars segment in which a voice suggests the judge here is involved in pedophilia and sex trafficking.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Apparently, he insinuated that the judge on this case is involved in pedophiles and sex trafficking.
What?
I swear, it's like he's out of the commentary community at this point.
Mr. Bengtson also only asks questions.
Sure. And as if that wasn't bad enough, the prosecution also played an InfoWars segment in which a voice suggests the judge here is involved in pedophilia and sex trafficking because she worked for Child Protective Services once. With it displaying a picture of flames appearing to consume the judge, though Jones claims that it was supposed to be her burning Lady Justice. But ultimately, that is where we are right now. This is still a developing situation. The trial's still unfolding as you're possibly watching.
So that's Philly D's coverage.
How are you feeling today, Alex? I actually feel good. Because
Not bad
for
coverage,
the first
honestly.
time,
I like it.
say what's really going on instead of the corporate media and how
I've seen this picture before. When he takes his shirt off, he's got massive breasts.
our law firms manipulating what I actually did.
Alex Jones.
Wait.
Because I get a chance to, for the first time, say what's really going on instead of the corporate media and high-powered law firms manipulating what I actually did.
Which you later basically admit to doing.
Alex Jones information.
Here's my
text.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
This has had many wild turns, including with the InfoWars host taking the stand. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. All right, let's recap some of the biggest moments that have happened so far in the Alex Jones trial. Now, a quick refresher.
All right,
here.
I thought this was going to be
Plaintiffs in this case, Neil.
I wanted to tell you to your face because I wanted you to know that I am a mother first and foremost, and I know that you're a father, and my son existed.
Does she have other
still on
children?
your show.
I would assume so, given their advanced age. I would assume that that's the case.
Because if she didn't, if I was his lawyer, I would have yelled objection.
Today,
Sorry.
I'm fairly certain they would have. I'm fairly certain they would have responded with something like, "Your Honor, being a parent is like being president. You are for life, no matter what happens." And believe it or not, Trump is not going to let us forget that. On either case, parenthood or presidential.
That I'm implying that I'm an actress, that I'm deep state. You have this week. And I don't understand. Truth is so vital to our world. Truth is what we base our reality on. And we have to agree on that.
Reality can be whatever I want it to be.
Okay, she's kind of losing me here. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, not like in the sense I'm believing Alex, but she's losing me a little here with the whole truth. Truth is what our society's based on. We have to agree on that. It's like our society is basically based on disagreeing with each other at this point. So it's not necessarily true. We're not going to cease to exist because we disagree on almost anything, but still. He's an idiot, and he's wrong, and he needs to pay you.
Sandy Hook is a hard truth. Hard truth. Nobody would want to ever believe that 26 kids could be murdered. Nobody would ever want to believe that. I understand people not wanting to believe that, actually. I don't want to believe it. But I've, since that day, dedicated my life to keeping kids safe. It's our responsibility. I used to think it was the school's responsibility. It's actually our responsibility. And I've dedicated my life to that. And having a quarter of Americans doubt that Sandy Hook happened or doubt the facts around Sandy Hook is not conducive to keeping our kids safe. It's not. And it's our responsibility to keep our kids safe. This happened almost 10 years ago. We've had over 350 school shootings since then. We have to keep our kids safe. Jesse was real. I am a real mom.
In defamation cases.
All right, let's see. What's this? Oh, I haven't seen this yet.
Did the parents?
And I'm looking at it, and I'm watching what's being said and what's going on, and it really then makes it clear what happened.
The problem is he's so insane, but because he's so insane, his show is entertaining.
Well, see, that's the thing, is it's inflammatory and it's ridiculous, which is why a lot of people watch a lot of things. We'll actually talk about somebody else in a little bit that's inflammatory, and that's why people watch them. But people make excuses for that kind of behavior. So it's just...
How does it make you feel knowing that that was said today by this man on his radio show while Jesse's father was testifying in that same seat you're sitting in?
I've had a hard time finding words today. It makes me feel astounded in a bad way. It's horrific.
As I've said it many times, I apologize to both.
Sustained. So, Mr. Jones, one of the instructions I just gave you is that this is not a conversation. Question and answer.
So she got the monologue, but not me. I got it.
So again, he says he's sorry, but then seems to criticize Liz.
They asked you for your
she
statement.
monologued. And by the way, his response would seem to support his contention that this whole trial is unfair and a violation of his rights. Jones was promoting his supplements.
Yes.
Are your vitamins FDA certified?
No, they're not.
Why not?
1996 law, the FDA has no jurisdiction over any nutraceuticals, not the ones at Whole Foods, not the ones at GNC, and not ours. And ours are private labeled, top brands that are sold at Whole Foods and GNC. We have them made by the top lab recognized in the United States. All we do is put our label on it so we know it's triple tested, the highest quality, and that's why people love it, because it is the best out there. And I'll give it to Whole Foods, and I'll give it to GNC.
Okay, I at first I thought the guy was exaggerating. About 2 seconds ago, he went into legitimate ad promo. I gotta think that he is so used to going through that, like part of ad reads and stuff, for his stuff, like when he's trying to promote that stuff, he has to be so used to doing that as soon as that opportunity came up to talk about it, his mind immediately went to, oh yeah, this is an ad.
Others, they got the same stuff. There's all sorts of crap you can buy at a gas station.
Anyways, guys, better help.
There's a lot of stuff you can buy at a gas station out there, yeah, including prostitution. What do you mean?
That's not what ours is. I mean, we buy our PQQ and CoQ10 from the Japanese. I mean, it's the best.
What? What?
Wait, you just threw in the Japanese there?
What?
I think he said we buy our PPQ or PQQ or whatever. I don't think anyone knows what that is. It's not. I would not be surprised if that's not even a thing and he just made up the term to make it sound like he knew what he was talking about.
Please, come back.
At a gas station out there, that's not what ours is. I mean, we buy our PQQ and CoQ10.
Does he remember that he's under oath?
I mean, it's the best. It costs 5 times what synthetic PQQ and CoQ10 cost.
The first half of that rant was relevant.
What?
After the first half of that rant, he was in ad read mode, though.
Holy shit!
Okay, this is when he's arguing with the lawyer or with the judge.
Yes.
And do you remember what you were?
Yes. Man.
And
man.
Just
you could write a smiley face on the back of his head.
First, there was a document you put out saying, "Don't talk about free speech. Don't say I'm innocent," and a bunch of other stuff. And then that got withdrawn. I believe you withdrew it. I think it's called motion limiting.
Okay, so you don't remember?
No. I remember currently.
Stop. You believe everything you say is true, but it isn't. Your beliefs do not make something true. That is what we're doing here. Just because you claim to think something is true does not make it true. It does not protect you. It is not allowed. You are under oath. That means things must actually be true when you say them. Don't talk.
And then there was this weird back and forth over whether Alex Jones was chewing gum in court.
Spit your gum out, Mr. Jones.
All right, we already saw that part.
And then he slowed.
Okay, we saw that part too. Yeah, so it's just the whole thing is insane. It's just Alex Jones is a lunatic, and he's like, I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know what he's trying to do on he's trying to do something.
Trying to win.
Yeah, I don't know what he thinks he's going to get away with. I'm not quite sure what he thinks this is doing for him.
If he wants
at all.
entertainment value, I mean, he got it.
Something. He's definitely getting entertainment value out of it, but is it really what company wants to? I mean, this has to be like a Death Noodles arc for him, where he's starting to lose some of his audience or something. There's no way this doesn't cause problems with his audience, especially when Alex.
Mm-hmm.
You know Alex.
Look,
We're gonna be fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Who else but Alex Jones?